Hey, what's up guys? Little man with a big opinion here. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about valuing your nickels. So I'm going to talk about, you know, just generic nickels that weren't Liberty nickels, Buffalo nickels, or Silverware nickels. I will talk about those, but to start this off, I'm going to talk about, your run-of-the-mill, you know, 38. Ooh, that was a camera drop. Whew, that was almost bad. We're gonna stick it back up. I'll leave that in as a nice little blooper. If it does it again, I might re-edit the video. Anyway, I will talk about those, but your 38, 39 nickels and your 40s and 50s and some of the 60s nickels. So this isn't going to make you a ton of money very, very fast. This is kind of something that just adds up over time. So, for instance, let's see here. I've got a 1954 Denver. As you can see here, 1954 Denver. Let's see, 1958 Denver as well. I think I threw some 40s down here. At least I hope I did. Here's here's a 1941 Denver as well. And these nickels right here are gonna run you in terrible condition. They're really only worth a nickel. In decent condition, they're a good 10 to 11 cents worth. And then in mint state condition, they're 30, 40-cent coins. Like, for instance, I don't have one in front of me actually that's closer to mint state. But all of these nickels are worth more than their face value. So if you are going through boxes of nickels, this adds something else for you to look for other than, V nickels, Buffalo nickels, and Silverware nickels. So next, I'll talk about some Silverware nickels. I'll pull them out of the bag. And what I'll do is I'll take one of the Silverware nickels and I'll sandwich it in between these 40s and 50s. And as you can see here, it's got an off coloring. It's almost like a dark gray compared to the more shiny nickel color. The other telltale is you're guaranteed to have silver between 1943 and 1945. 42 is a transition year, so some of them are going to be the silver and some are not. So, for instance, here I have a 1942. You flip it over, and it does not have a mint mark above the Monticello building. Whereas this coin has the mint mark above the Monticello building. Really big S compared to right next to it, small d. The U.S. Mint literally did that to make it easier for them to catch them so they could pull them out of circulation after the war. I have found 8 of them so far, hunting nickel boxes. Here's them all stacked up together. So they can still be found. I average one, I think, every 2 boxes, every 3 boxes. And then I did find another bit of silver. It's a Mexican 5-cent compared to the thickness of the nickels. Really, really thin. I could barely read the date and everything on it. It was a 1958. That was totally not expecting to find that. Anyway, moving on. So they can still be found in circulation, even though they tried putting measures in to be able to pull them out very easily after the war. So those guys, before silver was, I mean, last time I looked at silver was at like 24 or something, a couple of days ago. Before that, they were worth about $1, and that was strictly their silver melt value. You got a war nickel, you got about $1. The last time I looked, right now they're worth about $1.38. So, keep an eye out for them, because, I mean, I would say anything that you're getting for face value that's worth more than face value, you're building your net worth. So, back on to going through old coins. Here's all of the Buffalo Nickels I have to date. I might have one or two in my car. But these guys, okay, the sticky on this is not wanting to stick. Let's get this off. That's fine. We'll just do the rest of the video sitting down, and I'll hold the camera, and I'll probably end up getting a new mount. I want one with a date. Buffalo Nickels are really hard to get with dates, people. There we go. So this one's a 1936. I didn't even flip over the right one. Oops. Camera doesn't want to flip around either. Alright, that's cool. So if you're not catching these when you're going through nickel boxes, then I think you need to go get glasses or something, because there's a very big distinction between these two nickels. Jefferson, Native American. Jefferson, Native American. Monticello building. Literally says Monticello. There's a Buffalo. Monticello, Buffalo. Again, Buffalo Nickels are going to run you about $1 in value. Obviously, them having a date on them increases it a little bit. And then you are getting to an old enough set of coins where certain years have lower mintages, and you might be lucky there. I found this one while going through coin roll hunting, and it looked like someone had polished it. I mean, it's definitely a buffalo, but you can't see any of his hair. The feathers don't have any details. I mean, at least on this one, the feathers have a little bit of details. You can see some of the lines in his hair. That one, probably never going to get a date off of. That one's got a date. This one, I think, barely had a date. I think it was 1925. So, at least in that aspect, push those up. Like I said, they're worth about $1. And they should be pretty easy to spot when you're hunting. Now, these guys, very elusive. I have found one hunting nickels, and that is the V nickel. That's the one I found hunting. It was really, really dark. That one was probably in a fire, or it was in the dirt for a while. So for these guys, again, worth about $1, upwards of $2, depending on how good they look. I didn't really have these set up in any particular way, so I'm kind of having to look through them to see if I had a decent one. Basically, what puts these above, average is in her tiara. See, that 1910 that one will work. Focus. In her tiara, you can see BERT. The whole thing's supposed to say Liberty. Obviously, you can't see all of Liberty. You can see a little bit of her ear. You can see a little bit of her hairlines. And the, I forget what it's called. Almost like reading on the edges of coins. You can see lines in that. That means this one's above a G4 condition. Back of it's not too good. Whereas like this one, you can't even see her ear anymore. That one, you can barely see the hole where her ear was. On this one, let it focus. I think I can see L, and that's it. But it also looks like this one was inside of someone's collection, because you can see almost a perfect square going across their face where they probably taped it down on a piece of cardboard. So a lot of these are not going to be in great condition. Great condition is being able to see a full Liberty. You know, you can still see her eye, her lip details in the hair. So they have a little bit more value than a buffalo and a silver war nickel, but not much, because again, they're a little bit older. So a lot of them are a lot more worn than, say, some of your buffaloes. That being said, in general, for all of these coins that you see on the desk here, I know this is kind of a sloppy shot, but your coin has value if you know what type of coin it is. That's the first thing that gives it value. So, you know, specifically like this buffalo nickel that looks like it's been polished or cleaned or sanded, I know it's a buffalo nickel. In the buffalo nickel world, that gives it about 50-cent value. The date gives it another 50-cent value. So, since that one doesn't have a date, I probably won't be able to get a date out of it. About a 50-cent nickel. This guy definitely tells the buffalo. Definitely tells 1936. About $1 value. That being said, I don't have Nicodate, which essentially what that does is on some of these, like this one, it's a little bit harder to read. It's like a little acid that eats through. You leave it on there for a few seconds and it reveals a date. That is a good thing and a bad thing, because now you know what type of coin it is and you have a date for it. But Nicodate, you know, when I said the date gives about a 50-cent value, if you have a date but it's been Nicodated, I would cut that value down to a fifth. So now you know what type of nickel it is, you know, buffalo, and then a Nicodated nickel, I'd only add like 10, maybe 15 cents to it. Unless it's a low mintage year or you can see that it's an error nickel and you just had to Nicodate the date area. So, that being said, I love these nickels. I think I have 13V, 14 buffaloes, and $3 or $4 in 40s and 50s. I'll do a wheat penny video next. I did in this video kind of gloss over a lot of things. You know, I don't have my red book in front of me to tell you exact numbers. One of the numbers I remember off the top of my head is a 1964 nickel in graded mint state condition is a 34-cent nickel. But it costs $13, I think, to grade a nickel, and it's not worth it. I remember, and I don't know if I remember, 1950D is worth about $2 in G4. Again, I'm kind of pulling these numbers off the top of my head. The The computer still has, the Call of Duties pulled up. So hopefully this was a great generalization. And hopefully I can start getting boxes again real soon to hunt. That being said, if you like the video, leave it a like. If you like the content that I'm putting out, subscribe and share with your friends that are also interested in this, these kind of videos. I post as often as I can. Has been a little light because of this virus going around, but we'll zoom out and get one nice panoramic shot of one of my favorite hobbies. I don't have anything else to say, guys. I'll catch you later.